It's the Binge Bum Podcast. Whoa, it's time to talk about our favorite shows from all the streaming networks all across the globe, from Netflix to Hulu to Disney Plus and HBO. Get ready for fun and lots of show reviews. It's Binge Bum coming to you.
Hello, it's Friday, January 22nd. It's episode 3 of the Binge Bum Podcast. I'm Dale.
And I'm Scott. How are you guys doing?
Oh,
They can't answer. They can't answer us.
They can't answer. Hey, you can always email.
I always hate that about shows and stuff when people say, "How y'all doing?" It's
right.
Like they can't talk back to you.
Yeah, but it's a nice gesture.
Is it? I don't know.
And you can follow along.
Am I too cynical?
That's another show. That's another show. So there's a lot to talk about this week.
Yeah. What's up? What's up first on the Binge Bum Podcast?
Oh, gosh. So this is some exciting news.
Okay.
I like.
Yeah.
Apple TV Plus is extending the free trial through July of 2021.
What does that mean exactly?
So for those, and this includes us, so when we purchased, when we got that new device and we got that free trial because we purchased a new device, it got extended.
Like an Apple device. Like I bought a...
You buy a computer,
Yeah,
an
I
iPhone,
bought a
an Apple
computer this
TV.
year.
Yeah. And that's and we're included in that. So
Okay.
We've never once paid for Apple TV Plus.
Because we keep buying Apple products.
No, that's not. No.
Okay.
You got one chance during the
Calendar year.
premiere of Apple TV Plus to get a year for buying a new device. That promotion is now over. However, it's been extended. So we got a year for free, but it's been extended through July of 2021.
Perfect.
Those who subscribed, who did not purchase a device, who are currently paying the $5 a month, they will still be charged, but then they're going to get a credit back. That's the word on the street. That's what I'm understanding.
The reason they're doing this is because they're trying to build up their subscriber base because they've got so much content coming.
That's the rumor. So the rumors suggest, and these are coming from the Apple blogs that I follow, is that they are kind of in fear that if once the people who are on the free trial start paying, that they will cancel because they are certainly not... They don't have a catalog or the library such as the Netflix or the Hulus or the Disney Plus. So they're doing all their own original things, and they just don't have enough content coming out to keep people interested. So they're just giving it away for free.
There you go.
So that's the rumor, is the reason for the extension.
Got it.
There are rumors that they're out there looking for a studio that's for sale that they want to buy, which will include back content. Every single streaming platform has some sort of back catalog. Either they bought something or they have agreements and they're airing all these old things. Apple TV does not.
Right.
So that's part of the rumor as
stuff.
to why that they're extending this trial.
Got it. All right.
So we'll see. We
shall see.
Yes. Next up, just a little tidbit is last year, The Office was the most popular streamed show last year. It racked up 57 billion streaming minutes last year. That's a lot.
The Office was NBC's sitcom that was very popular. It went off the air about six or so years ago.
Right.
That surprises me because I thought it was Friends. I thought Friends was really up there.
I guess it was up there, but The Office beat it.
Wow. Pretty cool. I actually enjoy watching The Office. I will sit and watch it for hours, actually.
Right.
And
it's fun.
So I was probably some of those 57 billion minutes.
Well, it's one of those shows that at this point everyone has seen.
Yeah.
And so if, you're kind of doing something, you want something in the background, and we do this with The Big Bang Theory, that you just want something on, you don't necessarily need to watch it and follow through.
Right.
Because you already know what's going on, but it's enjoyable to watch still.
There's so many shows like that. There's shows that we've seen so many times that you just kind of put it on in the background just to have something on while you're making dinner. Usually that's when we're making dinner. We put something on that we don't necessarily have to pay close attention to.
Right. But you enjoy watching it, and it's still funny, and you wait for those lines because you know they're coming.
Yeah.
That's The Office I think for a lot of people now.
I actually read an article this past week about it. It's actually very therapeutic, and people recommend that you go back and watch those favorite episodes that make you so happy. Those shows, like for me, it would be like Buffy the Vampire Slayer or The Sopranos. If you loved it so much when it was on, go back and watch it because it's all the stuff is available now on the streaming systems.
Yeah, it's all available.
Nice.
So this tickled me. This tickled me a lot.
Tickled?
It did. The Star Wars franchise has a new enemy, and I love it. I love it.
Darth Vader?
It's not Darth Vader. It is the villagers of a little town called Little Marlow. I'm going to screw this up. Buckinghamshire, England.
Right.
Little Marlow, Buckinghamshire, England. So anyway, the Daily Mail has reported that the residents of this little village are just furious and upset with the film set that the franchise has created for the Obi-Wan Kenobi spinoff.
Oh my God, I've seen the pictures, Dale.
The pictures?
Yeah.
I think if that was a mile or two away and I could drive down the road and see something like that, I think it'd just be the coolest shit.
Yeah, we would love it.
I would love it.
Yeah.
I would love it. Some of these are not. The residents are citing traffic issues, excessive lighting, and they're worried about wildlife.
Right.
So apparently this is built on an old quarry.
It's not being used anymore.
It's not being used. So, yeah, they're not happy. It's a very small place. I looked it up on the map. It's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. All right, so we have, I assume you have a link so people can see the pictures of this.
Yeah, so if you go to bingebum.com, find this episode and find the show notes, I will give you a link to the Daily Mail article. You have to see these pictures because they're pretty amazing.
Yeah, I went and looked at the pictures. Basically, it looks like they're building a theme park. It literally looks like they're building like a Main Street USA at Disneyland or something.
That's what I was trying to remember. It's kind of like that. And it's not small by any means.
No,
it's a pretty big set.
And what it reminded me of is when we were watching the really great documentary about Game of Thrones, how they put together the last season, and they built these massive, massive cities that was basically just a set.
Right.
It is quite something how much goes into these productions.
Right. And that's something that's not on my list, but those episodes, those backstories of Game of Thrones existed. We watch, they're probably at least a year old, if not two by now. If you go to HBO and go to On Demand, you might be able to still find it, but they're pretty cool. Yeah. They only did this for the last season.
Yeah.
And it's pretty amazing of how they film things, and you get a good sense of the set.
And some of these buildings look like facades, but a lot of them have insides. So I think they're like building this entire world where they can have all these different places where they can film both inside and outside. Yeah. So yeah, it's a lot. So
but you got to see the pictures. So go to bingebump.com, find this episode, and in the show notes there will be a link to this this article from the Daily Mail. You got to see the pictures.
Well, I hope the residents of Little Marlow come around because these kind of things actually bring a lot of money to a little town like this, and tourist dollars and jobs. And so I hope they look at the bright side.
That was also mentioned. I didn't put this in here. That was also mentioned, but the town is so small and so far away that there's not a lot of money for the town to be made, if you get what I mean. Like there's no industry there. Right. It's a very small. It's a village, is what they call it.
Right.
So for that seems unlikely. The way that it was, the residents were describing it. It's kind of worthless. They just have to put up with this massive.
Well, hopefully
town within a town.
Right. Well, hopefully they'll get some jobs out of it, and they'll get something. But if nothing else, we get to watch Obi-Wan Kenobi with their awesome sets.
Exactly. Filming is set to begin this March.
Nice.
And the set, it's going to be there for like 3 years, they anticipate. So I don't know what that means. Does that mean the season's only going to be 3 years, or they could probably shoot shoot one, get it edited, air it, and then in the same year start another one? So you could probably, it says 3 years, but you could probably get multiple seasons out of those 3 years.
I have no idea what their plan is, but I guess they think that a lot of people want to watch the Obi-Wan Kenobi spinoff series. So we'll find out what happens.
Oh, we're going to watch it.
Well, what else do you got?
Exactly. Disney Plus, beginning today, will premiere Pixar popcorn. You brought this to my attention. I like this idea because I was a huge Quibi fan.
Yeah.
And, that's just all gone to pieces. So this is Quibi for kids and some adults.
Oh,
I guess
definitely,
certainly for adults.
Definitely adults, Dale.
Yeah. So these are just little short bites of your favorites. They're going to include Toy Story, Finding Nemo, The Incredibles, and Coco. Just to name a few at start. And I assume if this picks up, they're going to include other characters.
I love this. So they're basically short subjects based on the characters from the beloved
Looney Tunes used to do this.
Yeah.
They used to do like these 5 to 10 minute little cartoons. That
and Disney's been doing this with Mickey and Minnie Mouse too.
Yeah.
And they've just these short commercial cartoons that you can watch in 5 or 7 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's perfect. I like that kind of thing because we know that today's audience has a very short attention span.
Yes.
So popcorn is probably for them.
I love it. I love it. I still think, Quibi never got the chance to be good. Yeah.
Let's talk about the Muppet Show because this makes me happy.
This makes you so happy.
The Muppet Show, the original show that was on in the 70s and 80s, I think.
It's on here.
It's 1976 it premiered. I used to watch it as a kid constantly. It is going to start streaming on Disney Plus on February 19th. All the seasons that they have. I think there are 5.
5.
So they're going to be coming. If you guys haven't seen the original Muppet Show that was in syndication on broadcast television in the late 70s, you're missing out.
Well, let's clarify. This is different than The Muppets.
No, this is the original Muppet Show.
The Muppet Show.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had this on here. This is billed as it's a classic variety show blending, original songs, sketch comedy, and guest stars. And they listed a huge, huge list of like Steve Martin was like a guest star back then. It's massive. Everybody was on there. Participated.
Yeah, it was a great show. Have you not watched it?
I've seen bits and pieces, but I don't know if I was never as a kid a huge Muppet fan.
Yeah,
I was all into He-Man.
Well, it was on before. It was on before.
Way before
time.
my time. Yeah, but they still aired them.
Right. Yeah. Well, I loved it. They were usually on in the early evening, kind of like the Jeopardy Wheel of Fortune type hour of the evening, and I certainly watched it.
Yeah.
So I will check it out every now and then.
Yeah. Everyone says I look like Beaker, so I don't know.
What?
Beaker's the guy with the red hair.
I know who he is. I don't know if I don't know that.
I don't know.
More news. Go on.
Yeah. So Saved by the Bell. Peacock has renewed it for another 10 episodes, second season coming to Peacock. So thank God. Peacock, I want to love it. But it's just not there for me as far as original content, which is what the show is about. They're getting there.
They've got a couple more things coming out. There's a Punky Brewster reboot coming out soon, and they've got some more originals coming.
Yeah.
But they do have their entire back catalog of NBC shows.
They do.
Which is great.
They do, which is great. But this shows we like original series and stuff like that. So I want them to get on board and get more original stuff.
Cool.
Speaking of original stuff, I don't know if I'm too excited about this. HBO Max orders a Julia Child series. The series will star Sarah Lancashire as Julia. It's going to tell the complex and compelling story of the celebrated chef, author, and TV personality.
Julia Child was huge. I want to guess, so I don't have it in front of me, but I think it was the late 60s, early 70s. She was probably the first.
It goes back that far?
Yeah, she was probably the first TV person who ever did like cooking demonstrations on television.
She is considered known as inventing food television. So, and wasn't there a previous movie?
Yeah, Meryl Streep played her.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Julie and Julia.
Yeah, so this is going to be a series, I believe. Okay. Yeah.
Great.
So we'll see. There's not much news on it. It's way too early, but I found it. We wanted to talk about it. Gotcha. So that's coming.
What else?
We finally have a date.
Oh.
CBS All Access is becoming Paramount Plus.
They're changing their name.
March 4th is the date that it will be available. The service will combine CBS, MTV, BET, of obviously Paramount, Nickelodeon, Comedy Central, and VH1.
So they'll all of that content will be in one place.
In one app.
And they also have some really great originals like the Star Trek series. They've got a couple different Star Trek series. They've got
Well, that's what and that's the funny thing is CBS All Access is known as Star Trek Network,
right?
So that's basically all they have, other than the good fight,
the good fight,
right?
Which has been very popular for them, and they've got some other stuff coming down the pipeline. Maybe we can talk about next week. But
they've announced a new series based on The Godfather. And they're bringing back VH1's Behind the Music.
I love that.
And I love it.
Yeah, there's so many more stories to tell.
Yeah.
Now, you know what I want?
You know what? I want pop-up video.
Yeah, that was kind of annoying to me. But what I want is, okay, so if we're bringing back VH1's Behind the Music, I want MTV's Cribs. I want to see inside... Ariana Grande's house.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
That could easily be done today.
Yeah. And I don't know. MTV, I'm just over. It was great in the 90s.
In their heyday.
In the 90s was great. Right. And,
now it's all 16.
The new millennia. And
16 and pregnant.
16 and pregnant is, right. I just, like, they should bring back, like, the old school music video blocks.
Yeah.
Like the hip hop block with Dr. Dre and all those kinds of things. Bring back MTV News with Matt Louder. I can't think of his name, but you know what I'm talking about. These people are all on
Kurt Loder.
These people are all on Sirius now, so I guess they're not going to do anything. Right. But they could,
The MTV people aren't listening to you, Dale.
I want to feel that I'm powerful enough that at least I get someone's ear.
All right, let's talk about Bridgerton because Netflix just announced that they are going to come back with a second season.
Woohoo!
So if you guys don't know what Bridgerton it's about 8 close-knit siblings of the Bridgerton family who are looking for love and happiness in London high society. I think this is based on a novel by Julia Quinn, and it is kind of late 1800s.
I think the fun part about this whole series is the way that it's a period piece, but they bring in some more like modern words, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and they also have a lot of pop music, kind of done in harpsichord style.
Right.
You might hear some Ariana Grande songs in the background, but yeah, and it's also very sexual, I hear.
It is.
And a lot of their sex scenes have shown up on like Pornhub and stuff.
What?
Yeah, I just read about that today.
No way.
It's very, very weird.
Wow.
Netflix is trying to put a stop to that. But they did announce season 2. It's coming. We have not watched it. We really should get on it.
I mean, I know this is a show about watching stuff, but there's only so much time in the day.
I know. We
do
have jobs.
But but we know it's important, so we're bringing it to you.
Right. I do have one other announcement that isn't on the script. I am very happy about this. HBO Max just today has released the entire series, The New Adventures of Old Christine.
Oh, my God.
The reason I'm bringing this up, Dale, is because Julia Louis-Dreyfus is really in the news right now, especially with the inauguration that happened 2 days ago. Veep, obviously, is also on HBO Max. She played the first
great
female
show.
vice president in a very humorous way.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are talking and making comparisons to Julia Louis-Dreyfus's Selena Meyer to, obviously, Kamala Harris. But anyway, if you guys don't know The New Adventures of Old Christine, so the series she did after Seinfeld, but before Veep.
Right.
And it's really, really funny. It's available on HBO Max.
All I want to know is Kamala Harris going to go to her office every day and ask her secretary, did the person call?
You're right. We'll find out.
All right. We have one great premiere this week that I'm excited about. We're talking about Apple TV Plus's Cherry. It debuts February 26th. And it stars Tom Holland. I think this is big. So that Tom Hanks film was big. I think this is bigger.
Tom Holland played Spider-Man, didn't he?
He did. He played in the most recent.
One of the 17 actors who have played Spider-Man.
Right. Well, he's in Spider-Man Far From Home, and I don't know. I'm not a huge
I gave up after
movie.
The first one.
Yeah.
All right, I watched the trailer for this, and it's very interesting because there's a lot going on.
There's a lot
to it. So basically, Cherry is a drifter. He drifts from college dropout to army medic somehow. Ends up in Iraq. And the only thing he's really got to hold on to is this love for this chick named Emily.
Right.
But after he returns home from war, he's got PTSD, and his life kind of spirals into drugs and crime. I mean, you see him holding up a bank with a gun.
That seems like a big part.
Yeah. So
I think he does that several times.
Yeah. So, but he's a good guy. So he's a good guy. He's got PTSD. He loves this chick, but he's got a lot of problems. So, but actually, you kind of like him.
You like him, yeah. Because he's struggling and he's doing a bad thing for a good reason. Right. Is that the best way?
I guess so.
To put it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The trailer. There's a lot. The trailer is
a lot going on.
It's very fast, and it's it starts at, I believe, after he comes back from the war, and then it goes into the war. So it's very confusing, but you got to watch the trailer. There's going to be a link to in the show notes to hold this, but I'm excited about it. We're going to watch it.
Yeah, it's coming to Apple TV Plus on February 26th.
Yeah. And so the next thing, and this is kind of important. So we've been watching Your Honor on Showtime.
Yes.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. So right now on Showtime, you can get episodes 1 through 7. And the reason why we're talking about this in this section is episode 8 comes out January 31st. So they give you the first 7. If you kind of felt like what's going on, it's coming. It's coming in 2 weeks. And if you don't know what it is, it stars Bryan Cranston. His son kind of does this hit and run. Bryan Cranston plays a judge, which kind of makes things really, really interesting. I want to say a lot more because we're on episode 7 right now.
Wait, you can only say so much because you're gonna just give it away. But there's a big organized crime thing here. It takes place all in New Orleans.
New Orleans.
It was all filmed there, and it really has a lot of New Orleans flavor to it.
Yes.
Which is obviously a very unique city in the United States, and they do things very differently there.
Very different.
This, I would just say, and I know we're going to talk about it later. Are we talking about what we think about it later in the show, or we'll just might as well just do it now?
Yeah.
Each one feels like a movie, and it is so friggin' well done. The acting is amazing. The scripts are amazing. The supporting characters.
Like when you watch this, you feel the anxiousness of how it, especially in this episode 6 that we just watched, and new things were coming.
And it just makes you want to slap the hell out of your kid. It's like,
what are you thinking?
Do what I tell you to do, kid.
Exactly.
Kids never do what they're supposed to do.
Kids in these series, you just know it's coming.
What are you going to do? That's why we don't have kids.
All right, so real quick, just one little review.
Yeah.
The Event on HBO Max. This is I guess you can call it a series. Each episode is about one event. This is regarding Wolfgang Puck Catering Company.
Yeah.
Each episode kind of takes place at one event, and it's all behind the scenes and the drama between the people carrying the food, the people making the food, and what goes on, the problems in the front of the house and the back of the house. It's a fun watch.
It sounds so crazy that they would even make a show about something like this.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how interesting it is, and it's amazing how really kind of connected you get to these characters and the fact that they're trying to put on these major events. So the first one was about the SAG Awards, and then the other one was just kind of this big, huge, I don't even know what it was for.
Up front. It was
some kind of business event.
Business,
but it doesn't even matter what it was.
No, the event doesn't matter.
But it's all about putting out the food and getting it right. And Wolfgang is there, and he's making sure that everything is like perfect to his standards.
Right.
And they don't put out anything that isn't absolutely 100% perfect.
Yes.
So whether that's a little crostini to a Bellini to a full chicken dinner.
And I won't give too much, but you remember in that most recent episode that we watched is they had this whole thing planned out. It was like a 2-day thing. And the first day they had all this plans, and they got called by the event, and they say, we want vegan.
We want to go vegan. And they had been planning to do salmon and chicken.
Yeah, chicken and steak and salmon or something like that.
What do you do with all that protein?
Where does all that go?
Crazy.
I don't know. That seems like a nightmare to me.
Anyway, if you guys like behind the scene type stuff, and if you like Wolfgang Puck like we do.
And he's in it a lot.
Yeah.
You'll
He's
see
amazing.
him. He's great.
He is probably one. We talked about Julia Roberts early in the show. Julia Child early in the show being the first TV chef. Yeah. Wolfgang Puck is probably the first celebrity chef. He put celebrity chefs on the map.
Yeah.
He was the one that did it.
I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah.
And he seems like, personally, even if I'm watching him on television, I've never met him in person. He seems like a genuinely nice guy.
He's a nice guy. We've eaten in his restaurants.
We have.
And we've seen him on Las Vegas, that TV show Las Vegas
yes.
that was on in the early 2000s.
Oh, man. And when I saw that, because I never watched that show, I never liked that show, but he looked so different, because that show was on in the 90s, right?
Early 2000s.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, he's older now.
Well, I know.
He's probably in his late 70s now.
You think he's that old? Because he gets around, man.
He does get around. All right, let's talk about the 2 premieres that we have this week, Dale. I'm very excited about both of these. First up, we've got The Sister. This is a new series that is dropping today, January 22nd, on Hulu, and it is dark as, I want to say, fuck. It's dark, it's sinister, it's creepy crawly.
Yeah.
It's got a great guy. Russell Tovey plays the main character. He's playing this guy named Nathan. Basically, his past is coming back to haunt him.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. So he is currently married or dating the sister of a chick who he may or may not have killed. Yeah. I don't know. We don't know. At a
party. Yeah.
Right. So there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
So basically, he's got to deal with the fact that he had something to do with his girlfriend or wife. I don't know if they're married or it's a girlfriend.
Well, he had a wife who died, and then he married the friend of the girl who died that was at a party. It's a very
too complicated,
convoluted.
But anyway,
dark show.
Yeah, he's with the girl of the sister that he may have had something to do with.
Exactly,
and it's coming back to haunt him.
Yeah.
You guys might know Russell Tovey. Americans will know he was on HBO's Looking. He was also on ABC's Quantico, which was on for a couple of years.
Oh,
yeah, he's a British actor. Most Brits will know him. He's been on a lot of BBC stuff. I actually follow him on Instagram. I like him a lot.
Yeah,
this looks really dark. It's on Hulu. It debuts today. What's our next one? Flack. What do you think about this one?
I'm excited about this one.
It's very interesting.
It's very interesting. So this is basically a show about crisis managers. They just, it's 4 women who have very high profile clients, and they just do things to get them out of trouble and to spin the story to make it positive for their clients. I love it. I can't wait. It looks hilarious to me.
It does. It's kind of a dark comedy.
It is, because they get themselves into some trouble. It's kind of billed as, how far are you willing to go to make things go away?
It kind of reminds me of a scandal. Like, it's kind of like ABC Scandal, where she was a fixer. She would go in and help people fix things. So they're basically...
But this one's not political. This is more celebrity.
Yeah, sports stars and actors and stuff that are getting in trouble.
But it's a big comedy. I remember and there will be a link to the trailer in the show notes, but one of the funniest literally laugh out loud parts of this was a sports star who was coming out as gay, and then it's like he's not gay, but they've already planned all these like publicists and stories. It's a lot. It's gonna be fun.
Well, they basically said you're gonna make a lot more money if you are gay. So he had to pretend to be gay. Anyway, there's a lot going on in there. This stars Anna Paquin, who we all know from True Blood. She played Suki on True Blood.
Exactly.
She's very, very different in this.
Very, very different. Yeah. And so when you read the kind of description of the series, these 4 women aren't known as crisis managers. They're known as flackers. And I was like, what the hell is that? So I had to look it up. And it basically means to move quickly to and fro. So which kind of makes sense with what their job is, to move quickly and move the story to a more positive light.
Yeah.
And it's a word that's not used in America that often. It's actually used in Britain a lot.
Yeah.
So,
well, this is a British show. It debuts on Amazon Prime Video. everyone in America is a Prime member, so that means everyone in America can watch this.
Yes.
And it debuts today, January 22nd.
Exactly. And last on our list, so those are two actually series premieres. We have one episode premiere. If you're not, WandaVision episode 3 premieres today on Disney Plus.
Cool.
For those who are keeping up with that.
And then you've got some Wonder Woman news?
Yes. This is news, and this is big news.
Okay.
Wonder Woman 1984 is leaving HBO on January 24th. You have 2 more days to watch this for free. So get on it.
Or don't.
I didn't like it, but I think you have to watch it. I'm not a big Marvel, DC comic fan, but let's go. Anyway, that's our episode. Thanks for listening. Join us on Facebook and Twitter. Always stay with us on the conversation there. And if you like our show, make sure you let us know by rating us. And we'll see you next week.
Happy binging.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Binge Bum Podcast. For more about what you just heard, locate the show notes at bingebum.com.